This is Luton, and today we're going to be taking a look at Seine Crossing. Now this is a map that I've had quite a few questions about, specifically this first base. It's another one of those maps where you get a lot of camping and often a lot of spawn camping. It can be very difficult to push forward. So we're going to have a little look at the first section, and I was going to make a whole video just about B, but I think it will be better to just do it within this video, maybe make it a little bit longer, but do it more comprehensively overall. So first of all, I'm just going to move up here. I'm going to talk a little bit about this area before we actually move out. So we need to think about the routes that we have to places. Now you obviously have the main road which runs down here, runs to the back of B. You also have over here a corridor here which will run, and you see that one carries on all the way. I'm not going to use each of these, but that carries on all the way through to A, allows you to flank a little bit around there. Obviously this one has limitations in the fact that it's a very narrow bottleneck. So again, if you have camped LMGs, C4 claymores, that's going to make it very difficult for you. Moving across to here, this is the other sort of side route. And again, what you have is a very narrow corridor. Now, moving forward, this can be not too much of an issue. You will often get defenders, sort of on these stairs here, up in the windows often, very, very often, and then obviously coming down to here. Now, this is, again, going to be a horrible bottleneck. Now, as I say, before I actually show the kind of route that I take, what I want to do is sort of look at this area on the ground, break it down, okay? So we'll do that first. Now, what we all know, okay, is that B is the most difficult, right? B is the most difficult target. So at the beginning of the game, you don't really want to think about A. A is very, very easy, okay? It's not really anywhere near where the enemies spawn. You've got multiple access to it, okay? So it's not really that tricky, okay? You should be able to do that. And to be honest, most of the time in a game, you can just leave your blues in the team and it would be better not, but they will often go for that one first because it's easier. The main problem with this base is, like many bases, it's all about prioritization. And the thing is, most people will go for A because it's easier and nearest. This is a massive error, because what will happen is then the entire team only have to defend B. And B really is the nightmare on this. This is what I've had a lot of questions about, how to take B on this first base. And the reason it is a horrible, horrible base to take is because basically what you have, as you see, is this very, very tight, completely enclosed, defended area. And the only way in are these 3 doors, okay? Two of which even, rather, have got these horrible stairwells. And again, I've been in games the other day recently where we had like 3-4 claymores placed in here, and I was actually defending this back door with a shotgun with a flashlight on. So seriously, nobody was getting through this door, okay? You can defend this incredibly successfully just with your squad. You don't really need any blues at all. However, the only time that can kind of go wrong is if they give you a full rush. So I mean, like at the end of the game, usually what happens is if the attacking team, if you're attacking, you've been not very successful, usually it becomes a bit of do or die. People will just make an all-out kamikaze assault, and often the blues kind of pick up on that and they throw themselves in. If you are just here with your squad, it'll be difficult. You should be able to defend it, but it can be the turning point. And we've lost this base having defended it successfully just because the blues were like, oh, it's safe, and off they go running around the map defending. Then everybody throws everything at us, and they're literally clogging you with their bullets, so you don't have enough rounds to take everyone down. That can be the only time this one fails. So when it comes to attacking, what you've got to be careful of, if I can just get up here, I probably won't be able to now. Yeah, okay. So this is a horrible position, okay? You will often have someone with an LMG with a bipod, okay, and they're literally staring down through here. Nothing is going to get through there. You're never going to be able to, okay? I have tried on occasion, and sometimes you'll get lucky, but it is more luck than anything else. Again, you've still got to watch out. People in here, in these doorways, people here. You'll have an LMG guy up here, you have someone down here like this, also just kind of popping their head in and out, picking off. You can often have somebody here. Again, even if you're outside here throwing grenades in, it's very easy for someone to kind of, like, often I will, if I'm defending, I'll just kind of go here. You can usually avoid a grenade thrown at you or whatever. So it can be a real nightmare. You'll often have people, for example, prone here, things like this, so that, you know, even if you do get the chance to arm, they're still going to be able to get the drop on you. There's a little room here again, and you'll often have a kind of, you know, recon, respawn point, things like that. Claymores everywhere, C4 everywhere. It's a nightmare, okay? And there's not much to really talk about other than that sort of tight area. The rest of this section is very, very easy. As an attacker, you have so many places you can hide. You can hide in these little rooms here. There's, you know, as things get blown up, there's sort of, you know, the normal hiding spots that you can get, which within the kind of destroyed ruins, the trees coming down, blah blah blah. There's loads of places that you can hide and move through. So what really is the key to this first section? Well, to capture B, okay, you need two things, okay? You need a little bit of luck, and you need a lot of speed. Okay, you need to move very, very fast, because what you want to do is you want to be able to get down there before they can set up their defences, before they can get entrenched, and that is often the case with so many things. It's, as I've said before, objective, okay, so we've identified we want to go for B. Momentum, we need to get down there very, very fast, and flexibility, we need to adapt to whatever is happening when we get down there. So what you want to do is take this truck, you want to get as many people in as possible. You need to then cane it down this road, watching out, of course, that when we get to about this point here, you'll see often people running across the road, dropping mines, C4, etc. So you need to be aware of that and take those out as you come down the road, hopefully, anyway. When we get to about this point, you want to drop off maybe one or two people, but I mean, you know, it's going to be up to them if they jump out or not, okay? Now the next thing you can do, there's two options really. One is to go through this door, one is the back door. If you go through this door, it can be quite useful to kind of sort of hover here as you come down in the LAV, okay? And what you want to do is just fire some rounds in like this, just to try and clear off any claymores and things like that that may be on the door. So that's going to help your guys have a bit of success. You can often also come in here and do the same thing. Just put some rounds in, move back up a little bit. Just the explosiveness will destroy anything. So you've cleared both ways, hopefully, of claymores. And then your guys can jump in. You'll often have a lot of pressure coming onto you, so you can often back up, move forward, etc. Try and just avoid them. If you have IR smoke example as well, you can often pop that, and that's going to give some cover, because, you know, the tank will deploy a lot of smoke. I don't have that equipped, but, you know, if you pop the smoke, that can often be a good distraction as well. So, but the main thing that we're really relying on is just speed. So once we get down to this point, okay, we have the two positions to go in through. Now, I actually like the back door a little bit more. I know it can be a horrible bottleneck, and I know that you have to worry about people here, but the reason the back door is good is because if you, say, have 2 or 3 guys with you, you can get one person going in sort of prone in this corner here, and what they can do is help cover from anyone who may be in this area. They might be able to take out the guy up on there, they may be able to take out someone over here, here. Okay, so they can give you a little bit of cover. The only downside with that is if you have someone there, any defenders coming in are going to be able to obviously knife you and so on and so on. The other thing to go for, as I have often done in games before, is to literally run in. As you come up to this point, you want to have a little sort of look here, make sure that's clear. Same thing, you want to come out here, make sure there's nobody sitting right there. Okay, and then often, if I'm on my own, and I have actually done this in a game, I'll see if I can find the footage, but probably not. The other thing is, some people, just to really say quickly, a lot of people have said, oh, can you intersperse this with footage? If I start putting footage into these videos, they're going to be an hour long, and also it's going to take me, you know, days to do instead of you know, half an hour or so. So I will try and find footage to put up afterwards on my own channel, but to be honest, the way you should think of these is a foundation, not a, you know, step-by-step guide. This is not going to work every single round. You have to adapt and put your own things into it. This is just a foundation of how to think, and then, you know, adapt it with your own things in game. So yeah, moving on. You want to check this little area is clear. And as I say, I have actually done this in game before. I was on my own. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the plant on my own, because even if I got the plant, I'm going to get rushed by 3 or 4 people afterwards respawning in. So what I did was just came in here prone. Now, you might think this is kind of obvious spot, but you'd be surprised often how people miss you. And the other thing is, sometimes it can actually be better to hide in what you could consider would be a more visible spot, but actually the enemy kind of look in the more obvious places, like here, you know, because they think, okay, yeah, everybody's going to hide in here, and they may not spot you. It sounds unbelievable, but I actually find that it can be the case. And as I say, in this game, what I did was stay prone here. There was a couple of guys just run past me. They didn't even look here. And then I got 2-3 guys spawned on me. I left one of my guys to go for the plant, whilst I was over here to cover these 2 doors. And, you know, we took the base, maybe 10-12 tickets, as I recall. Okay, so that's really how to look at this base. Smoke, again, is always going to be a good thing. Grenades, etc, etc. Use all your things. But the main thing that's going to get you this base is speed. Speed and moving down here at the start of the round and going for it immediately. The other thing that's going to help you see, is that if you do it right at the start, then hopefully maybe not even all the enemy team will have spawned. They might not have got all in here. They may be sort of going towards A. They may be all over the place, okay? Maybe if you've got any smart-ass people as well who think they're some, you know, superstar player, they've even run up out of the defensive area. Maybe they're trying to be clever and they're trying to cover this doorway or whatever. You know, all of those things are going to help you take that base, because it means that the enemy are not there. They're not camped on it, you know? Whereas if you take A first, then obviously, you know, if you take A first, all the enemy are going to be on B defending it. It's going to make it a nightmare, because you're going to have 12 people defending an enclosed area. And as I say, I was in a game with my clan, and we had, I think, 2 squads, so 8 guys with us, and A went very quickly. A went in the first couple of tickets because the enemy team just rushed down here and took it. We managed to hold the entire game against another team just simply by sitting in that room there. Because you can just respawn and respawn and respawn and respawn. You can always keep people in here. So, it is a nightmare. I can understand why people have problems with it. But the thing is, it's all about speed. You've just got to push down here and take it hard. Right, I think that's all. So let's move on. Now, as with most of these tactics, it's not very complicated. It's very simple. It's just about having the discipline and also pushing your team to do it. And I know people are going to say, well, that's all very well on the video, but in reality in a game, we'll be playing with the blueberries, and they won't do that. They'll just do whatever. They'll arm A and we'll never be able to take it. Well, you would think so, wouldn't you? But the point is, okay, that if you have a decent 4-man squad, and probably you have a couple of blues as backup, creating a distraction at the front, all you need is 4 guys to take that out. Because when you get down there with the LAV, you can have 1 guy in the tank. And the other good thing about the tank is that the guy in the tank can stay out in the road, and he can suppress anyone else respawning to come back in. Yeah, because once it gets armed, obviously all the enemy, all the defenders are going to be coming from here, and possibly from around A. If you've got a tank in the middle of the road, a lot of the time, even though B is armed, they're going to have to deal with that tank, or at least they may be distracted by it. So again, it's going to create a bit of a buffer. It's going to slow them down. So you keep 1 guy in your tank, the other 3 guys go in, maybe send 1 guy here, 2 in the back door, or vice versa, and create a good spread, clear it out. You should be able to take it. It's not too hard, but it's all about just getting down there quickly, and I just want to kind of keep repeating that. Okay, so now we go on to the next base. Now there's many routes to this next base, okay? We have the option of going up by A, down here, and by the side. Now, this one is not good for anyone. A lot of the time, people are very bad at defending, particularly B, which always kind of irritates me. B often gets taken very quickly, and there's no real need for that to happen. B is a very defendable position. It just happens that most of the time defenders seem to focus on A. I think it's because it's just kind of central point on the bridge, and there's a lot of kind of structure here, so it feels a nicer thing to defend. You often, in so many games, I rarely have people defending B. I'm sure it varies from game to game and platform to platform and so on, but B often tends to be more weakly defended. It's very easy to defend B as well. I mean, a couple of claymores and 1 or 2 people would be enough, really. And the other thing as well is that, you can have defenders move up over here, or, covering this thing. They can mark it up. You can mark up anybody coming in, and then hopefully that would distract a little bit of attention from A. People would help you defend it. Now I'm going to go back and focus on the attacking, because that's what we're meant to be doing, but I just thought I'd point that out because B is one that often is poorly defended, and people really should think about it a little bit more, because you shouldn't give up bases that easily, you know. So it's really your choice whether you want to go for B or A. I honestly don't think it makes a massive amount of difference. Having said what I just said though, I think that possibly B is worth often going for first. And the reason is, as I say, it's mainly poorly defended, which means that you can focus a little bit better on A. But the main reason is that it's not too hard to defend B, because it's a very awkward one to get into. Because unlike A, okay, A you can literally just drive up with the LAV, park it on A, and jump everyone out, arm it, clear the area. So A you should be able to take that really in a matter of seconds, whereas B is a much more annoying sort of one to take. You have to either get through this water here, or you have to jump off the bridge or move across the bridge. If you make an effort with your squads to hold B, you'll often find that it can be, you know, a bit more successful in the defence. Because I've played many games attacking where, or defending even rather I should say, we've had many games defending where B goes immediately, and then, you know, we defend A for ages and ages and ages, and then what happens, they just make a crazy rush, they drive it with the LAV, you lose A instantly, because, you know, they can move the weight of enemy attackers very easily onto A, because it's just on the bridge, all you got to do is run at it, okay? Whereas B, it's kind of annoying, like, I mean, you can't really jump that easily sort of onto it, you know, you can land in the water, so break your fall a little bit there. But this water is, you know, it's slow to move through and so on, okay? And I've had many people have issues getting in here. This, by the way, is the best way to get in, I find. Or even, you know, sorry, this rather, here. Okay, a lot of people come up here and they try to get in through these windows, which kind of people have issues with, because you see they're like a little bit, you know, you can get in, it's not that tricky, but I think this little thing here causes people some issues. Whereas these ones down here, you see there is no lip, so you can literally shoot the glass, knife the glass, and, you know, you can just walk straight in there, no problem. You can obviously do the same on this side, but if you come in from this side, you're exposed to the enemy. So if you were, say, jumping off the bridge, landing in the water, you want to go for these windows here, not the ones that are further up. And then simply a case of arming it. Now, again, this can be very horrible as a defender to defuse, because people will often lie prone in here, and you can see that when you're lying here, you've got a very easy view. You know, I wouldn't even bother trying to take them out over there. I would literally just wait until they come up to these windows and then just take them out. It's going to be no problem, and I've done that many, many times. If you were coming to defuse, probably a good thing to do would be to try and throw some kind of grenade towards them, but again, unless the glass is taken out, it's going to bounce off. It's a real nightmare to defuse this one once it's been armed, unless you have a very proactive team that are going to get in here and clear it out quickly. So it's much better to try and just defend it straight off. But as an attacking team, B is really not very hard. I mean, you literally just come over this bridge, jump in the water, arm it, it'll be gone in seconds, so nothing very complicated there. And as I say, A is the same. This base is really not very hard. It's all about just dropping some smoke, running at the target, blow them up, clear them out, arm it. Okay, there's nothing so difficult about it. You know, you've got a lot of containers and things. Also, if anyone didn't know, using that back door, you can get in these buildings right here. First floor, second floor, you get snipers in there. So often as an attacking team, you'll have sniper support as well, shooting down on here. And, you know, I've been in games where you can be up in that room sniping, and, you know, the defenders are coming from this kind of area. You can suppress them right back here. So again, it's going to make it more difficult for them to get in. If this base is very heavily camped and your team is not pushing forward as an attacker, okay, if you're not getting any support from your team and you want to try and run it just as a squad or even a single player, okay, you can try and, for example, jump in here, swim across, get a recon point planted here, try and come at it from behind. Similarly, you can do the same thing on the right hand side. You can try and swim across. There really is multiple routes into this position here. and there's many routes in. I mean, like I said, the main road, you've got the 2 smaller corridors here as well. Although I find these corridors are often horribly camped. You'll find that as you come through here, you'll get a lot of suppressive fire coming from the towers, the base of these towers, people looking over here. So you come out this door and you just get killed, okay? Now we better move forward now. But basically, yeah, I mean, you just want to run forward, just put a load of smoke down, grenades down, blah, 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 take the base. This is not the ones that you have to worry about, this base. Okay, moving forward to the next base. Again, this one, the next base it's one of those ones you really have to call depending on what the team are doing, because there's 2 sort of main locations, and therefore it really depends on how they're going to be defending it, okay? It's kind of like the first base, where if they're defending one more hard than the other, then you need to kind of assess what is going to be the best tactic to use. The only thing that I usually would say is that because B is a lot further away, people often fail at A, okay? But there's no real reason why they should. A is very much like B, and except that it has more kind of routes in. The problem with B, though, is that it's very, very far away. But it all comes down to, you know, the defenders, basically. Am I going to die here? No. Okay, thank God. You can move to B pretty easy at the start, because the defence is not often very well entrenched. But if you wait, then again it can be horrible to get to, because you can have defenders sort of in here covering the road. They can all get in this building. B, I often find, is really not very hard to take, so it's often one that you can go for quickly, but it's not so difficult because you have the whole road. You know, you have all this area to hide in. You have these buildings up here. But as I say, it really does depend game to game just what is happening. There's no real special route for this because there's so many ways in. You know, you can come any way you want, really. If you have a lot of snipers in this building up here and they're covering the road, sorry for running all the way back down, but if you have snipers in that building, you have to think about their line of sight. And you can see, okay, that from this concrete sort of thing on the left, okay, this stairwell, often the sniper line of sight from this building is going to be sort of where I am right now, this bus, this open area here, and this corridor here. Most people, when they're attacking B, tend to kind of try and run to the most sort of direct route straight up here. That's going to put you right in the line of fire of the defenders up here. So a better way to go is often to hug the left here and come up the left stairwell and then kind of push up through. And if you come up on the edge here, you can often be careful, or even kind of a little fun thing, just throw a load of smoke at them like that. So no sniper's going to be able to pick you off through that. And then you can either get in here and act as a nice little spawn point for your team, or push forward, and again you've hopefully bypassed those snipers, defenders, and break your way in here, okay? And then we'll get that armed. So we'll just do this while we're here. Okay. Now, A is one that often people have a lot of issue with on this map. And A can be horrible because, as I showed in another video the other day, you can hide in many, many places. You can really cover a lot of angles as a defender in A. You can hide over here. You know, there's a lot of places to go prone and hide and make it horrible for them. And again, as an attacker, you're pushing up through here. You're going to come right into that horrible crossfire, okay? And not forgetting that sometimes you'll have people even up in these windows shooting down on this position here. Now, as an attacker, I often see people going up into this building, and that can be a good thing, but it can also be not a great thing to do. It can be not a great thing because you end up kind of killing a lot and not really doing a lot, so I think we need to go one floor up. Oh, not down. Yeah, here we go. So, as you can see from this area, this can be good, you know, because you can take out those horrible campers and the people coming down to the area. And, you know, if you were clever as well, you might even be able to take out the snipers that are hiding in this building. So this is a very useful building as an attacker, if, you know, to pick up the kills, clear the area. But the important thing about A is the same thing as B. you've got to move to it quick, and you've got to clear it and just take it ASAP. So you really can just choose and play how you want to play it, okay? You know, you could drop some smoke as you move up here, put some over here, blow it on the wall. There's nothing to really shoot at on the floor here, so what you want to try and do is aim it at the wall here so that it'll create, see that? You just hit it on the edge so that it creates a kind of smoke screen, drop another one, okay, just keep going. That's usually how I would take this base, just kind of smoke, 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 get in here. You'll often have someone hiding here like this as a kind of last man because they can cover here and into the container. So as you come in, if you go to the right, you know, they might clip you, but again, you know, you want to give yourself the best chance. Now whilst that's going, I'll just talk about these other areas up here. We all know that you have this little corridor here. Again, this can be really horrible to move through because you'll have people throwing grenades at you. Defenders can sit up in these windows. They can also sit over here and things like this. It really does just depend completely on the defenders of these bases. There's no way of saying you must go this way, or you must go from the B road, or you must go from this way. Okay, there's no way you're going to be able to predict each round and how you take the route. So you really just have to look at it. The important thing to remember is just remember where people could be, and also it's more about speed and just attacking quickly, dropping smoke, dropping grenades. That's what you need to do to clear this out. You just need to push really, really hard. And to be honest, that's what Seine is about overall. It's just about moving fast and clearing them out. And the reason, compared to other bases, a lot of other maps, okay, like Firestorm and things like that, they have the ability to flank around quite easily. This map is a lot more like Grand Bazaar because it's an urban map. It's very bottlenecked throughout. And so speed, smoke and suppression is going to be really your key to taking it out. So we're moving on to the last base now, and again, this last base is pretty much the same as the first base. You want to totally ignore A, okay, because it's really not a priority, and to be honest, I don't even think often you'll have defenders trying to defend A. I'm yet to really see them mount a successful defense, but you will often have some people kind of running around out here, and it's better that they're doing that than sitting inside B, so try and leave A for a little bit of time anyway. Moving up here fast, that's your key. That's your key to taking this, okay? Same thing as the first base. If you leave it too long, they're going to get entrenched, they'll put claymores, they'll put C4, they'll get into all the nooks and crannies, and you'll have a difficult time. This is possibly the most horrible one. But it does have an advantage, which is that it's a little bit more open than the first B base. There's many, many ways in, there's many places to hide, it's bigger, it's more open. So long as you move fast, this shouldn't really be a big problem. My favourite way in is often through here, because the reason for that is you often get people, you'll often get two people covering this one doorway, which I find is kind of funny. You'll often have someone sitting like here, and you often have guys sitting like this, and they usually have like an LMG or something ridiculous, and or a shotgun or whatever, shoot everyone as they come in. I have come in and successfully cleared this before by just sort of popping my head out, throw a grenade, let it blow up, and bang, bang, you know, take them out as you come in. I have often cleared through this area, but it's not very easy to do. And the same goes for the back door, which not everyone seems to know about, which is kind of weird, but it's not really any more difficult or easy. Same thing, you just come in through here, and it allows you to get around the back, okay? But again, that can be easily defended by somebody just sitting here, and they'll just kill you as you come up through, alright? But again, it depends game to game, where they're defending, what they're doing, how hard they're defending, etc, etc, etc. The one thing you do want to watch out for is this horrible counter here. You will every single game have people here, and the obvious reason for that is they can cover B very easily from over here. Okay, not so much from here, okay, they will be able to see. It tends to be down this way on the left. I don't think I've got any grenades left now. But what you want to do when you're attacking here, okay, if you can kind of come to about here, because they're often looking straight at B, but if you can come to about here and put a grenade like that, and then hopefully, as it's suppressed, if you didn't kill them, run in, finish them off, yeah? kill that guy in there. That's an important person to take out, this guy here, because he will be defending and he will be getting, you'll get people defending this base who will literally just stay here, okay? And the reason for that is they can just see anyone going to the plant and just take them out again and again and again and again and again. And, they can rack up a load of kills just by doing nothing, really. But they're doing a very important job, they're defending. Also, if you're a defender, go in this position because... No, as a defender, you want to be sort of all over the place. That is a good place to be, but there's other things you can do, like getting in the pot plants, okay? You can equally sit in these. And this is going to be a very, dangerous one to kind of watch out for, is people hiding in these planted beds, because, it does happen. But the most important one is the breach, getting in through the doors, okay? And as I say, that's why I often like this way in, because people don't really cover it, and people don't really... The weird thing is, as well, is that even though the front door is massive, people seem to focus on the little doorways. You'd be surprised that often, if you try, people often ignore the front door because they think it's so open, there's no cover, therefore they're going to get killed. But if you come up here, you'll often find that, there maybe isn't as much cover as you thought. And because it's more open as well, again, dropping smoke and just making a run for it, you'll often kind of dodge by them and cut in through. So it's worth trying, especially if you have a lot of other team members trying to breach other sections, okay? But as I say, right, my favourite way in is this. The reason is, it's kind of at the front, so as I say, less well defended, but at the same time, it's not directly in the front. So you just take out that glass and hop in, and you're in. Okay, this I often find is the best way in, and I often find it's not defended at all. The next thing that you want to do, once you come in here, is go to this door, okay, and cut in, clear the guys out in here. That will then give access to your other teammates, okay? So you don't want to necessarily always go straight for the plant. Once you're safely in, clear it out so that you can have other people, because you need those people to support you taking this base, okay? I wouldn't often go for the back door because it's not as well defended and you don't often have many people go through it, but you will get a lot of your team members trying to come in through that door there. So helping them secure that is important. And then if you have some team support, then you want to try and just generally clear out this area. Again, the B bomb, the only thing you really have to worry about is that guy behind here, okay? Once you've taken that guy out, who will be here, and I guarantee every game you play, there will be a person here. Once you've taken them out, it should be a pretty simple case of planting the bomb, provided you have a kind of medium control of this area. And the other thing to remember is once you clear them out, they will be spawning coming from back here, okay? Defenders come from back here, and often even underground. It's quite a long spawn, so clearing this section out and getting it armed is the important thing to do. And, there's a lot of cover. Just all you really want to do, a lot of grenades, a lot of gunfire, just clear it out, yeah? Having a lot of medics is a big help, because whenever you're in a big tough firefight like that, you want to be able to keep rezzing people up when it's safe to do so. This one I'm not even going to bother talking about because it's so easy, you can just literally walk up and take it, so there we go. So that's my little overview of Seine Crossing. I say little, it's half an hour again, but that's like all of my videos. I hope this has been a little bit of a help. Put any questions, thoughts, and also please suggestions for the next map for me to cover. Thanks for watching, guys.